We started our YouTube story exactly 3 years ago with exactly this car, S-Class W222. A long time passed since then, and the video has been seen 125,000 times. If you have missed that, you can click up here. Today, however, is even more special because 3 years later we proceeded with the all-new 7th generation S-Class W223. If you haven't subscribed yet to our channel, please do so now and watch the video.
Се абонирайте за канала, ако още не сте, и гледайте видеото.
To be honest, I was wondering how to start this, because there is so much information in my head. The car is extremely high-tech, and the story of the model stretches out to 1951, and the so-called W187, the famous ponton-bodied Mercedes. For the first time, the name S-Class was used in 1972 for the W116, a model with an ABS anti-lock brake system since 1978, the first ABS system in the automotive industry. It was an extremely advanced car, succeeded in 1979 by the 2nd generation S-Class, the legendary W126, the cigar. Everybody who has ever stood next to this model, everybody who has closed its door, knows the dense sound of the door. There is no need even to discuss the interior's quality. This is the exact generation the airbag gets presented to the automotive world with. Also a super innovative car. The next S-Class was the W140 in 1991, extremely well known in Bulgaria with its square design and the nickname the Bear. It also features a lot of new tech, for example the Electronic Stability Program ESP, and the double-pane glasses, as the first car with double glazing. I've spoken with Professor Harold Leshke, who is married to a Bulgarian and who is a part of Bruno Sacco's team, for designing this car. I have discussed with him how quiet the car was, how easy it was to drive with 100 and 120 kilometers per hour when exiting the autobahn, even breaking the law because of the quietness and lack of realization how fast you are moving. The hidden door handles are also an interesting element. Professor Leshke says that they were considering using such handles back then, but there were quite a few reasons not to. The next one is W220 from the 1998. The car is considerably lighter and with better aerodynamics. I cannot remember exactly what were its innovations, but for sure one of them is the pre-save system, which saves lives even today. It features the pop-out bumpers and the tightening of the seat belts. The W220 also debuts the 4MATIC all-wheel drive system, as well as the first ABS, active body control, which is a Mercedes' first adaptive intelligent suspension. In 2005, the W221, a lot of innovations, night vision, lane monitoring, just to name a few. It was succeeded by the W222, the first car in the world without even one bulb. All lights on the interior and exterior are completely LED, a revolution not only with lighting, but other systems too. And we arrive in 2020 and the 7th generation S-Class, the all-new W223, that we'll present today in detail, and there is many of them. We're happy to be the first media to have a detailed acquaintance with the car, even just for a day. Thanks to Silver Star for the opportunity. Actually, I saw the car live the first time that morning, and I dare say I already like the design a lot. Something I cannot say for my first glimpse at the car during the digital premiere. I was expecting a wow design at first glimpse, but actually I was a little bit disappointed because I thought the design was not sharp and innovative enough. However, looking at it live, the car is absolutely stunning, and that can be confirmed by Spas and Thomas. Actually, the whole team likes it. That is why we think the car should be seen live to really appreciate it. What is your opinion about the design? How do you like the new S-Class? Another question. Which is your favorite S-Class generation? Disregarding the design and quality. Which one is your favorite so far? And one last question, no quiz for this one. Spas, don't laugh. Which top limo would you prefer? The all-new S-Class, the current Audi 8.8, which is already reviewed, BMW 7 Series, or why not Jaguar XJ, or the freshly facelifted Porsche Panamera? Please comment below the video. You see, the front is very characteristic, and the lights are quite an interesting element. In this case, you have the standards for all lines multi-beam LED. They're well known from the previous generation and consist of 84 diodes each, which change the light flux in order not to blind the oncoming traffic. The optional digital light is more interesting. They are optional for around 2,250 euros. They consist of only 3 diodes for each headlight. 3 may not sound great, but they are impressively strong, illuminating 650 meters in front of the car. Apart from these diodes, every headlight consists of 1.3 million mirrors. These are micro mirrors that can adapt and direct the light, for example at the pedestrian, so you can see them better. Apart from that, these mirrors are literally projecting images on the road. So if the car detects repair works on the road, it can show you an excavator. Adding to that, if you're climbing a slope, the car will disperse the lights to avoid blinding the oncoming traffic. They're amazing, but at the moment you cannot use them. You can already buy them, but they are actually not yet legalized. However, that's not a problem because Mercedes will send an online update when the lights are ready to be used. The new S-Class is Mercedes' first model that can receive over-the-air software updates via the internet. That means that over 50 onboard hardware and electronic systems can be updated during its life cycle. That's how you will always drive up-to-date car, which is amazing. Our test car incorporates the optional AMG line, which traditionally makes it look a little bit more aggressive. It includes these fins, more aggressive side skirts, new rear bumper and 19-inch wheels as standard. Our car comes with these 20-inch wheels that are optional for around 1,050 euros. The wheels are very interesting detail because even they're aerodynamically optimized. The new S-Class is more aerodynamic than the old one, which isn't easy to achieve, especially considering it's bigger. The drag coefficient is 0.22, which is a record value. Why has Mercedes made that? There are a few reasons. It was not about the speed, but rather for efficiency and acoustic comfort. That's the reason for the pop-up handles, which are also optional. For this model, however, they're part of the standard equipment. You can see the new front grille, it's larger than before, and even a little bit like a hexagonal, albeit with rounded corners. Here are the end of the segments, with a flat surface like a plastic tile. Hidden are some of the many radar sensors responsible for motion. There are 2 front sensors which observe the road from a different angle, and a third one responsible for a long-range observation. You also have a camera here. The cameras for the 360-degree systems are 4 in total, and this feature is part of the standard equipment for this line. You also have a stereo camera for road signs. In the back you will find 2 other radar sensors and 12 ultrasonic parktronic sensors. As you can expect, the car is fully loaded with electronics. It is bigger in absolutely all dimensions. There are short and long wheelbase models as before. The short one is almost 5.2 meters long, an increase of 5.4 centimeters from the previous model. The long base model is 11 centimeters longer than the standard. Our test car is the L-Spec. Curious fact, the previous generation, W222, was sold mainly as long wheelbase. 9 out of 10 S-classes were ordered as long version. That explains why Silver Star gave us the LWB. In Bulgaria, officially, only that will be sold. Of course, I don't think they will ban you from ordering the short one. The car is so big that the base 18-inch wheels look ridiculous. That is why we recommend 19-inch, or as in our case, these 20-inch wheels. Additionally, there is another aero system. The warm air stream is taken out of the engine to envelope the cope, and more specifically, to envelope the fenders, to make an even better aerodynamics. When in Sport Plus mode, the suspension goes down, so that is when the 0.22 coefficient is achieved. This is not the first car we film with turning rear wheels, but the system for the new S-Class is on a whole new level. 2 models can be purchased. The first has a turning angle of 4.5 degrees, something common with other cars we've seen, with systems enabling for around 3 degrees. The second system is more interesting. It allows the rear wheels to have an angle of around 10 degrees, a really awesome variation. This allows for better handling and greater maneuverability. Mercedes says the turning diameter is 2 meters shorter, which makes the car awesome for city driving. Thus you have flexibility like an A-Class in S-Class, which is 5.2 meters long. The adaptive suspension is also interesting. The standard one is pneumatic-airmatic. You can also choose an active body control with the intruding pre-safe impulse side function. It is capable, in the event of side collision, to lift the entire body up. The shock absorbers are inflated with some complex hydrospheres, and the whole car lifts up with around 8 centimeters. The idea is the impact to be directed towards more rigid parts, like the floor, instead of the doors, which are more vulnerable. The rear lights are no less impressive. They look like a crystal forest, very magnetic and three-dimensional. From that aspect, they do not remind of CLS at all, which I find to be a positive trait. There is the S500 badge, which doesn't mean that it's V8 engine anymore. In a bit I'll go to the front and tell you more about the engines. You can also see the 4-matic badge, as well as the reversing camera. It is now out, but it can be hidden. It seems that the monitoring system is always engaged when the car is on. Yes, it is on, even if you do not hear it. The exhausts are real, 4 of them, even surrounded by these blends. There is even a stylistic diffuser. The luggage space is 20 liters larger than the previous generation and now fits 550 liters. The same for the short and long wheelbase. The door handle is massive, much more massive than the one in Tesla, if you're curious. Here is a red lever, which I'm pulling 2 times just in case. I'm opening the bonnet for the first time. As Toma told me, there is no other lever, so you just lift it up. Shocks and the 6-cylinder engine. For the moment, the range consists of only such engines. It starts with the S450 4-matic with a 6-cylinder petrol inline M256 motor, 3-liter turbo making 367 horsepower and 500 nanometers. It includes so-called EQ boost system, consisting of an E-motor with 22 horsepower and 250 nanometers. It helps the efficiency. The next one is our model S500. It uses the same M256 engine, now with 435 horsepower and 520 nanometers. It houses the same EQ boost system and can be ordered only with the 9-speed 9G-tronic automatic gearbox. It comes with a 4-matic all-wheel drive system. What can we expect next from the petrol motors? A hybrid, actually. A plug-in hybrid with 510 horsepower, 28 kilowatts-hour battery, enough for a really impressive range for around 100 kilometers. Further on, we're expecting S63 AMG, which has 612 horsepower in its last generation, so we expect no less than that. It will feature the AMG 4-liter bi-turbo V8. Later on, there'll be an all-electric EQS, which promises to be very interesting. Of course, there is also the diesel. The range starts from S350D, which can be ordered with rear-wheel drive or 4MATIC. It is driven by the OM656 2.9-liter inline, 6-cylinder turbo diesel engine with 286 horsepower and 600 nanometers. Its more powerful version is S400D with 330 horsepower and 700 nanometers. It can be ordered only with 4MATIC. V12, please forget about it, because its last appearance was in the S65 AMG in the last generation. This one will be the last S-Class with an internal combustion engine. It seems that the next generation W224, or whatever is its name, will be all-electric. The boss position in S-Class. I literally don't want to step inside with shoes on. They're not dirty, but the car is so clean. And we got the car with 40 kilometers on the odo?
49.
The long wheelbase, S-Class, 11 centimeters more, which obviously reflects the second row seats. The new S-Class can be ordered with 5 different seat configurations for the rear seats. The standard equipment includes the so-called bench, so you have 3 seats. In our situation, these individual lounges are ordered as a 2,800 euros option. They have heating, ventilation and much more. This button here is very interesting, or rather very important. When you press it, first of all, some time is needed for the electric motors to start moving. Actually, the front seat has around 20 electric motors. Probably there are a little less in the rear seat, but you can imagine what kind of automation we're talking about. That's how you can free up space for your legs. Apart from that, there is cushion for your calves to rest. Yes, in its time. Spa's battery is running low by the same time. That's how you enter the luxury kingdom. I'm sure my heart beats slower. The multimedia system is far away now, but it's not a problem because you can control it from this tablet. It can also be pulled out when you press this button. As you can see, it doubles the functions of the monitor in front. Actually, in the previous generation, these displays were not yet touchscreens, so they were controlled with old-school remotes. Now that's in the past. As you can see, you have a display controlling various options, the audio, the air conditioner and so on. What else do we have here? Very nice wood and ski rack. If you for some reason would like to transport skiing equipment in this super luxury interior, 2 tables are hidden here. They are also optional. You can unfold them in that way. They are pretty massive and cost around 1,800 euros. So you can convert the rear space into an office. You will also need USBs for that office, so Mercedes brings 4 of them, all of them Type-C, a 12-volt pin, and 2 HDMI ports. A wireless phone charger and a lighter can also be found. A lighter in case you want to light something in that interior. Actually, I wouldn't do that, because everything seems very expensive. You can also find an air conditioning nozzle, rectangular, as in the front, as well as an air conditioner control panel, which looks like a touchscreen, but the pad sings nicely. There is also a cup holder, which can be chilled or warm. It lights in blue and red. Another important feature are these airbag signs here. Not the sign itself, but the airbags. It's the first car in the world, in the long-wheel version, that can be ordered with front airbag seats, that can be ordered with front airbags for the passengers on the rear seats. The system is extremely innovative. The airbags deploy faster without harming the passengers in the process. The rear seat is extremely luxurious. To be honest, I don't know all of the functionalities which could be switched from here. That's why it's better to go on the front seat, so I can show you the extremely cool dashboard. It was hard to start this shot. When Spas sat down in the rear, he told me, "I don't want to work anymore. Drive me somewhere where it's warm and there's a swimming pool. But I'm on the driver's seat. I almost forgot something. Maybe not important, but good to know." The seat buttons are like static. They are like touch sensors. It is enough to touch them and the corresponding seat part starts moving. I could talk about the seats for 20 minutes because they are extremely sophisticated. Maybe they are the most complex seats in the automotive industry right now. These seats here have 19 different electric motors, which have functions like moving, massage and so on. There are 10 massage functions, including hot stones, precision, whatever that means. The rear seats also have electric motors, so maybe in the entire car there are around 80 motors only for the seats. Mercedes has also mentioned the stepper motors. I'm not sure how many there are. If the air conditioning is 4-zone, there will be more than 20. Imagine how much electromechanic stuff is involved there. However, most important is how you feel sitting on the spot. To be honest, there is no such feeling in a different car. The design is new. At the place of the old air ducts, there are new rectangular ones. Everything is geometrical. Everything appears to be at the best quality. That's poplar material with open pores. There is a version with some kind of vertical metal lines, like an exquisite suite, in my opinion. The steering wheel is all new. In our case, it is the AMG steering wheel with 4 spokes, actually 3 double spokes. It is a combination of touchpads and real buttons. It is strange, sometimes you're not too sure if they should be pressed stronger or just touched. I like it very much. You cannot miss the 2 displays that are dominating the interior. When I was watching the S-Class presentation for the first time, I actually didn't like it. I was thinking that it's too different from the previous generation and these tablet-like displays. But I assure you, when you hop inside, the feeling is at a whole new level. The designers did their best and succeeded in integrating the display. 27 buttons had to be removed for the integration. Maybe you remember them. They were here with a round joystick for mode selection and a lot of different buttons. They are all gone. Everything is concentrated in these 2 displays. MBUX, Mercedes-Benz User Experience. Few Bulgarians will be able to have this car, but everyone should be proud, because these displays have been developed by the Visteon's Bulgarian Center. So these displays are designed to look like this by Bulgarian engineers, which is so cool. The display is 31.2 centimeters, something you cannot see as we cannot catch it on the camera. Is its 3D vision. Here is the 3D button, so you can move from 2D to 3D. It is 3-dimensional. There are a few different layers. How does it work? It is very complex to explain, but there are cameras on both sides, which are following your eyes. They combine the different layers, so you can see in a 3D image. When I move, the whole image is moving. It really looks like a space technology, and I'm very impressed. This is only one of the skins, one of the display visions. They can be changed with the home button, of course. Press home and switch between sport, exclusive, classic, which reminds me about the previous generation S-Class. The whole navigation is in front of you, with all the assisting systems, as well as the different functions in depth. Really space tech. The camera is following your eyes. The future really is now. Check out how to adjust the mirrors in the S-Class. It can be done with a touchpad here, but more fascinating is how to choose which mirror to adjust. You don't just look at it, look at the left mirror, touch the pad and it moves. When you turn your eyes to the right mirror, the car already knows that you're looking at it and it starts adjusting it with the same touchpad. It is even a little bit creepy. This car here does not have the interior assistant, which tracks you even better. For example, you're going to maneuver backwards, but the rear sunshade is up. It will go down automatically in the moment you look backwards. If the interior is dark and you look at the rear right seat, for example, the lamps there will be lit in the direction you're looking at. It is awesome. The steering wheel is similar to that of the old Mercedes, excluding these surfaces. The levers are somehow similar to these, at the A-Class, but more pleasant when you touch the metal surface. This display has a diagonal of 32.5 centimeters, portrait a little bit square. It controls all car functions, of course, also with voice commands. When you say, "Hey Mercedes," that activates the car, which will ask you what are you searching for. The system knows 27 languages, but these functions are not always working properly. The display itself is awesome, not just LCD, but also OLED, organic light emitting diodes. You should know those organic diodes have better graphics, but consume less energy. When talking about energy, the new MBUX has 50% more computing power in comparison to the old car. It is interesting how fast one can get used to this display. 2 minutes of practice is enough to understand how it works. That is a huge plus and something very hard to be done. An ultra-modern technology that seems familiar to you. The air conditioning commands are integrated in the very same display. There is no lag. A haptic feedback gives you information just as on your mobile. When touching the display, it vibrates. There are 10 massage modes: hot relaxing back, hot relaxing shoulders, mobilizing massage, activating massage, classic massage. It features the so-called energizing system for the front seats. It costs around 3,000 euros, and there is similar option also for the rear seats. This means that when you enter and say, "Hey Mercedes, I'm tired," now it won't work because the door is open. The car will make you feel comfortable with appropriate music, massage, warming up or cooling the seats. There is also a fragrance because there is such a system, I forgot its name, in the glove department. By the way, the glove department is very soft.
Забравих как се казва системата, с парфюм. Mercedes-Benz аромат в жабката, която между другото е доста мекичка.
When we talk about quality, I don't have any complaints. I didn't even want to get in the car because everything is so white, new and soft. There are soft surfaces all around. This element is very interesting too. Actually, it's the ambient lighting system, consisting of 64 colors. Okay, that's not something new, but the way it is created is very curious. These are fiber optics with 250 diodes in every 1.6 centimeter, if you're interested. For sure, it can be changed. It is not only intended to be comfortable, but also safe, working with the blind spot system. When a car is approaching from the left or right, the ambient light gives you a signal, as well as this little triangle on the mirror we are already used to. The whole strip is blinking in order to stop you from making any maneuver, or in case you decide to get off the car when the vehicle has stopped. Indicative of attention to detail is this lined-in letter handle, but mostly the Burmester audio covers. Here we have the optional 3D stereo featuring 15 speakers with 710 watts for around 6,750 euros. Needless to say how well it plays. And even this is not the tip of the iceberg. You can choose the 4D Burmester stereo, whatever 4D means, with more than 1,700 watts and 31 speakers. That sounds scary, so is the price of 8,000 euros. Just imagine how heavy are those 31 speakers. 20 motors in every seat for 4 seats, and 20 stepper motors for the 4-zone air conditioning. Only the E-motors in the car weigh around 100 kilos, I guess.
И 4-зоналния климатик имате 20-стъпкови моторчета. Само електромоторите в тази класа имат тежат около 100 кг.
Another interesting detail, the ambient lighting changes when you are changing the temperature. It blinks in blue when lowering it and in red when increasing it. Just for a moment, of course. The camera is also exciting. It is actually a system of 4 high-res cameras. Just press here and the car puts together an awesome image. We saw something similar in Audi A8 a year or 2 ago. It was actually one of our most popular videos.
Едно от най-гледаните ни видеа всъщност но тук наистина е с такъв
The attention to
детайл,
detail here is extraordinary. The system indicates when the door is open or the lights or turn signals are on. You can choose different angles to set the car to remember which cameras you want to see every time you enter a parking lot.
Тоест, когато влезете в паркинг, да се пуснат тези камери без вие да го
There is also a fingerprint pad, so you can save your data and nobody will have access to them.
Може да си вкарате данните и по този начин никой друг да няма достъп до вашите ценни данни.
You can also make a profile with your height. In that situation, the car will adjust accordingly the seat, the mirrors, and the steering wheel to fit you. It's awesome. I can talk a lot more, but I will not because the video is already long enough. There are two wireless charging zones here and one on the back. The smartphone can be connected to the external antenna, which is super. There are 4 USB-C ports, cup holders with various sizes, and here, another port for charging. Look how cool it opens! I'm not convinced about the piano locker. It is beautiful, elegant and stylish, but it can be scratched easily. If that is not enough, you can put your phone here. For some reason, there is also storage space here. I'm not sure why Mercedes points out that the robot that makes these seats has 16,000 needles. I'm not sure why that is important, but now I'm passing on that info to you too. Just the extras here cost more than 50,000 euros. Exactly 300 euros are due to those so-called design seatbelt locks. It is a pulsating LED strip to help you put your seatbelt on. Another interesting detail about the seatbelts, like in the sport coupes where the car hangs you the seatbelt, here this system exists also on the rear seats, which is really interesting. I can tell you a lot more, but I'll stop now because this day comes to an end and our review will not be complete before I tell you how it feels to drive the new S-Class. How the car feels when driving. Like a flying carpet. Actually, I can compare it only to Rolls-Royce. I can even say that in some moments it feels even more comfortable, especially when compared to Ghost. The way the suspension works is remarkable. It is airmatic as standard, with a stereo camera in the front. It foresees what happens in front of the car. It is funny that the S-Class maybe drives more uncomfortable at night because the camera doesn't see the road just as well. That's a joke, of course. The feeling is for an isolation from the world, also because of the noise isolation. For the first time, Mercedes uses in that generation S-Class special expanding foam, which is placed even before the body is painted. This foam is placed in the rear C-columns. When the car is painted, this foam expands, and in that way changes the acoustic characteristics.
Което влезе за катодно боядисване, ако не се лъжа. При самото боядисване от електрическия заряд и така нататък, тя се разширява тази пяна и по този начин променя акустичните свойства на Lambo Euros, hello, which makes the car quieter. As I told you, the aerodynamics is significantly improved, which also make it more comfortable. The airmatic suspension can be upgraded with the body control with 48 volts actuators on the 4 wheels, which works miracles. But honestly, the car is extremely comfortable, even with the standard suspension. The visibility is okay, with nice mirrors. As I told you, the 360-degree system is amazing. There are 2 options for head-up display. The more financially affordable one costs around 1,000 euros, but the head-up display in the car is the better one. It costs 3,000, even 3,500 euros, according to the spec, and is the world's best. Космическия първият подобен в света. Доплаща се около 6000, може да достигне до 7, в зависимост от спецификацията на колата.
It's the largest head-up display I've ever seen. It features a lot of information. Mercedes says it is the equivalent of 77-inch display. It features the so-called augmented reality. If you have activated the navigation and need to make a turn, the car shows it not only here, but with arrows left or right in the head-up display on the windshield. That option is so cool that I would specify it for my S-Class, if sometimes I have to do this. The feeling is of some special place. If you have put so much money, I will tell you how much soon, the feeling is that you are happy with life and happy to succeed. That's how the S-Class makes you feel, even when it's not yours. When speaking about dynamics, 4.9 seconds for 0 to 100 kilometers per hour or 0 to 62 miles per hour, which is super acceleration, the maximum speed is electronically limited to 250 kilometers per hour, 155 miles per hour. If you want faster models, you'll have to wait. Exceptional dynamics considering the weight of 2 tons. Actually, it is not so heavy if you think about all these electric mirrors, batteries and so on. And even so, the car weighs around 2 tons. Our test vehicle needs about 8 to 8.5 liters per 100 kilometers, according to Mercedes. Actually, let us ask. Hey Mercedes, what is my average consumption?
What's my average consumption?
The average consumption since start adds up to 14.3 litres per 100 kilometres. Since reset, 22.5 litres per 100.
Yes, 14.3 liters per 100 kilometers. But let's have in mind that the car is brand new and I drove it very little, unfortunately. But fortunately, I'm driving it because it was absolutely possible not to have the option to test it. In reality, the average consumption can decrease to 10-11 liters per 100 kilometers. We should not forget there is a lot of electronics and other stuff to be powered up with electricity and respectively fuel, because the electricity comes from fuel, or at least part of it. You heard the assistant. It is interesting because you can play with it. It also has a sense of humor. Actually, let's ask it. Hey Mercedes,
How may I help you?
what do you think about BMW?
Close acquaintance. Mercedes even manufactured series car bodies for BMW in the 1930s.
Haha, I just learned something new. The car told me that in the 30s, Mercedes have produced car bodies for BMW. I'll check it. Hey Mercedes,
How can I help?
what do you think about Audi?
Super. Business is all about competition.
A rational answer. Business is all about competition. Let's try with Porsche.
Hey Mercedes,
How may I help you?
what do you think
about Porsche?
A good friend from down the road.
Down the road.
They are really close, yeah. Generally, the system makes you feel like talking to a live person, which is nice. When talking for autonomous driving, we should say that the car has all the necessary electronics, software, etc. to be level 3. Level 3 means that the car can drive off, stop and turn by itself, just like the current Teslas. Due to legal reasons, that is not allowed right now. Such sections are being prepared on the roads in Germany, and not only there, so the new S-Class will be able to use them in the future. As I told you, the car is able to update itself over the air, so it could be more practical in the future. Even more interesting is that in level 4, there is not even a driver required. Actually, in level 3, the driver should be able to react in a few seconds to be inside. Level 4, however, means the car can find the parking by itself, if the infrastructure allows it. The car is super high-tech even in that way too. The safety, needless to say, is on space level. The crash test definitely proved that one of the safest places to have a crash is the interior of the S-Class. You like the S-Class? You want the S-Class? I also want it, but the car is expensive, you see why. The prices start from the 350D, which costs 107,500 euros.
The more powerful S400D with 330 horsepower and 4MATIC at 7,000 euros. The S500, which we are testing, for now is the top model, starts around 124,500 euros for the short wheelbase model. Our test car is a long wheelbase with a lot of options, which raises the price to around 182,500 euros. The AMG line costs 5,200 euros. The wheels add another 1,050 euros. We have also a lot of more options like the exclusive interior package with a special ladder, the multimedia system for rear seats for 3,000 euros. Energizing system for the front seats also costs 3,000 euros, the same amount for the energizing system for the rear seats. Phone for 1,000 euros, second phone handset around 950-1,000 euros, panoramic roof around 1,500 euros, the best head-up display around 3,750 euros, Burmester audio 6,750 euros. The lights are standard, but you have a lot of options, so do not expect to see that car in the mobile used car site for 7,500 euros. Let's be glad that in such hard times, do not think it's easy to make cars. It is hard to develop such a car, to test every possible system, to make a lot of crash tests for a car with and without a panoramic roof. These are huge expenses for Mercedes and Daimler. It is not easy to be a leader in the luxury class, and undoubtedly the S-Class is a leader. What I don't like and what I like about the all-new S-Class. Before I saw it live, I didn't like the design. It is hard to find something that I don't like in it now. It creates nice feelings, and I'm very happy such machines exist. I cannot afford it, but I can touch it, I can drive it for a while and share it with you, with people like me who love such cars. And what is awesome, because such automobiles are a reason to talk, an awesome reason, an innovative car showing the road ahead. We will see some of these systems in other models too. As for the critics, there always will be critics. My opinion for the S-Class is that it is an absolute S-Class. Thank you for watching. If you're not subscribed, please click here, because it is important for us to continue making such videos. You can also follow us on Instagram to see behind-the-scenes materials, jokes and talk. Sometimes it gets intense when we have super cool and complicated car but limited time for making the video. We make interesting shots. Go to our website, DizzyRiders.bg, where we publish news on a daily basis. Click and comment. It is important for us to hear your opinion, how you perceive the things we do, what you like best. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more.